Hey guys, it is Squid. Uh, Join me for a little walk around my neighborhood, and we will see how this goes. So, as everybody knows, the hurricane was Friday, Thursday night, Friday morning. Friday was all cleanup. We stayed in a hotel. Friday, Saturday night, came home yesterday. Got our hands on a generator. Problem is because everything is sold out, getting the cables to run to our generator or from our generator to our refrigerator or our deep freezer does not work. Um, in which case, uh, we we
We're giving away fish and shrimp plates from Rounds. Would you like some?
oh yes, please.
What? Fish, shrimp, or both?
Uh, uh, both.
Both?
You guys are awesome.
This is full shrimp here.
Uh,
How many?
uh, two.
Is that enough?
Yeah. She'll just eat from mine, and then my mom's coming back here, and then but I'm pretty sure my husband got fed at work.
Okay.
So, I have burgers that I need to cook before they go bad.
Gotcha.
Everything that was salvaged from the deep freezer, it's cook or toss.
I know, right? Maybe soon. They're down there working.
Hopefully, I mean, it's better than it was a couple of days ago. But and I was even trying to be prepared too. Like I got water. I and just did not.
We were not. So enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Hey Cynthia, yeah, we got the baby squids right here. Uh, the local restaurant is delivering food, so we have food for tonight. Well, I was gonna cook burgers, but I'm cooking them not because I want a burger. I'm cooking them because if we don't have a burger, um, I'm gonna lose all that food. And my deep freezer is currently empty. um, my refrigerator. The only thing in my refrigerator is stuff that was unopened. That it says refrigerate after opening. I had stuck in the refrigerator, but I hadn't opened, like a jar of pickles and some Worcestershire sauce. So I am going to run this in the house real quick. And hi, JD fan. Thank you. Like I was saying when I first started the live, I'm on my phone, so like there's no intro, all of that fun junk. Um, Baby girl, I'm gonna run these in the house real quick, okay? Well, so here's my. Thank God we have a Blackstone because it doesn't require cooking or electricity. And I didn't realize this, but our water heater um, runs off of propane or natural gas or whatever. So we have hot water. So, but here is my. So my kitchen is a mess. My house smells like gross Brussels sprouts. But here's my like. There's no I put the gallon of water. There's my eggs, but I don't refrigerate my eggs, so they're fine. And my deep freezer has baking soda and some ice packs. We are currently living out of two small coolers. And since we got a window AC unit, we are camping out in the I'm right here. I'm right here. Hey, I'm right here. Mwah, I love you. Yeah, we're gonna go for a walk. We're gonna go see the neighborhood. Yeah, we should take the golf cart, but mommy needs exercise. And since the only things open when we didn't know what was good or what was bad was McDonald's, and the only thing we could get when we were staying in Savannah was Waffle House and sorry, this is a really bad angle, but welcome to my boobage. Um, Thanks for being here with me, guys. I really appreciate it. Like, there's 3,000 people in this town, so we kind of take care of our own. Friday, we went to a house after we drove around a bit in the golf cart because the roads weren't so accessible. Um, we took our chainsaw and started cutting limbs off of a tree that was on someone's house. And it turns out she's in a nursing home and her son lives in a different part of the state. So she's, yeah. uh, and I appreciate it. So we're going to turn out my house. And I don't know how to turn this camera around on my phone. I don't think I can. But, like, I will try to show you, like, and it's bright, so it's hard to see, but there's, like, limbs down. Like, people are putting limbs in the road, well, on the curb so they can come get them. Like, yeah, no boots, no lights, no motor cars, not a single luxury. Yeah, like, you can hear, so if it gets loud, I'm sorry, because you can hear all the generators running. Um, Here's my, like, all the limbs. This is one person's yard. One person's yard. So, like, you have trees down, and I'm walking down a hill, so. But, like, I really wish I could switch this camera around. I just don't know how to do it on my phone. So, damn. Whoop. Nope, it doesn't want to work. Yeah. So we're, for those of you just joining, we're taking a damaged view of my road, because there has been some things that I've never been scared of a storm. And I know I did a live stream talking about this the other day, but I was kind of in shock. Um, there's there's a bucket truck right there. We're gonna go this way. Um, it's kind of hard to see, but behind me there is a pickup truck. Friday morning there was a log on top of it. Um, it's We're gonna come up on a couple of trees that, thank God, they fell the way they did. Like, this is Mother Nature's way of telling you that you are a small cog in this wheel and you don't mean one bit of difference to the world. Like, this is way of Mother Nature's way of bringing you back down to earth and telling you that in the grand scheme of things, you are you really don't matter. So if you can see, that is the back side of a tree. That this is all, like, hey, squid. Oh, and I'm sorry, it's hard for me to see. Oh, when I get in the shade, I'll look at the comments. Yeah, JKD Buck, Mr. Squid and Baby Squid slept through the whole thing. I, however, did not. um, I heard the tree down the street from my house. Well, it's basically out my driveway and down the road about 100 yards. I heard that fall. Yeah, it didn't. The only JD fan, the only thing that it's affecting her, um, is the fact that she's out of her element, staying in a hotel for 2 days, not knowing what's going on, coming back, having to sleep in the living room, not having power, not having air conditioning. We have a generator, but because of the fuel shortages around here, we're not running it when we don't have to. Like, I turned it off before we left the house because if I'm not there, I don't need to be running it. So it's kind of this fine line of trying to figure out what you really need. I'm not gonna lie, I order from Good Ranchers, so I had like $300 worth of steaks in the freezer. We had duck from last season that we hadn't eaten. Like, throwing all that away was and I was so proud of myself too, because I was like stocking up on stuff and kind of not prepping. That's not the right word, but like, I had quality food for as cheap as I could get it, but I just threw away like $500 worth of crap. Like, and I don't even have it the worst. Like, I have it pretty. Like, these are all pecan trees. They are gonna lose a lot of money this year because their pecan trees aren't destroyed, but I can guarantee you that shit is not gonna work out the way they wanted it to. The money that they are going to lose is substantial. In the tens of thousands of dollars. When that is your livelihood, yeah. Oh, it was painful. And let me get in the shade for a second so I can see who's here. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Yoda. Cynthia, as always. Just Slinky. It's like, yeah, it hits differently when you have a little. But like I said, I've never been scared of a storm before. Like, I'm from Wisconsin. We have tornadoes. Like, I've been through tornado warnings before in multiple different states. I've been through hurricanes before. I lived in Virginia when I was in the military. Like, we had hurricanes. I've lived through a couple of hurricanes here. Like Hurricane Debbie last month. It rained a lot, but like, it wasn't god awful, and I got a rock in my shoe. So, like, I mean, you saw, like, I showed you guys pictures. For those of you who didn't subscribe to me back then, because I know I got a lot of new subscribers, I did a hurricane relief stream where I raised $400. $200 went to a food bank, and $200 went to a church to provide, that's been providing food and stuff for people displaced. Not thinking that a month later it would be us who get displaced. And we weren't displaced for long. We probably could have toughed it out without Baby Squid, but having a toddler. Hello, how are you? Having a toddler gets a little, makes life a little bit harder. Yes, Tammy. It makes you realize how small you really, like, how small you are in comparison to the rest of the world. And in comparison to Mother Nature, things you don't have control over. Like, I'm trying to figure out a good way to do this because I have the stroller. So, and of course I have my Celsius. So if Celsius ever wants to sponsor me, that would be awesome. Or give me like a discount code to your site. That'd be amazing. So I was watching Megan this morning, and they were talking about what the hell's crap, and I was thinking, do you think with Levy County being close to Cedar Key, which is really close to where it made landfall, do you think all the turtles escaped turtle purgatory? Yes, Uncle Frank. I need to post your link when I get home. Uncle Frank, he lives in Florida, and his house was absolutely destroyed, which makes me feel blessed that my house is still standing. However damaged the houses around here are, none of our houses are demolished. There is a donation link, and I honestly can't remember. I think it's through PayPal. I think it's through PayPal. I have it. I need to post it. It's for his fundraiser because he doesn't have a house. Like, it's he doesn't have a house. So, like, yeah, it's probably the cleanest they've been in months. And I'm like, there's tree removal services, and like, Their turtle pools are damaged. Awesome. Like, I mean, I feel for the turtles, but at the same time, like, there's a lot of wildlife. Like, that's part of, like, we can't save all the wildlife because Mother Nature is more important. Hey, and they're restarting. I really wish I could change the camera to face out because, like, y'all need to see this. Yeah, and thank goodness for Yoda letting his uncle stay there, or having space, and if not having space, making space. So these people are actually from Georgia, but I've seen trucks from Minnesota, Gilbert, Arizona. Yes, go dogs, Uncle Frank. It was a bad night. Had we not started so crappy, I think we would have been better. But I don't know. I'm just gonna use the excuse that Bama always has our number, no matter what. It's like Ohio State and Wisconsin. No matter how good Wisconsin is or was, Ohio State always kicks their butt. And like, it's amazing to me what, like, and a lot of those guys are from Georgia, so they're you know, yeah. Celestial Force Minnesota's been here. My dad works for We Energies in Wisconsin. He's worked there since before I was born. And they had crews on standby, ready to go, before the storm even hit. They don't know where. He doesn't know where they went. So like that hit the house, took out the tree, took out the garage. Luckily, and the truck. The truck isn't damaged. That other truck was probably totaled. But like, I'm gonna do selfie mode here today because I have to not walk on downed power lines that you can see right there. So we're doing and there's people clearing limbs everywhere. You can see, like, my neighborhood has very tall trees. And it's one of these things of like, why one tree and not the one standing right next to it? I will never, and it makes me almost cry when I like think about it, because it's like, we have a huge tree in our front yard. Why the tree next to it or across the street and not our yard? Like, yeah, and obviously Florida needs more help than we do because Florida got the wind and the water. We really only got the wind. I mean, it did rain here, but like in this area, it was like wind, whereas Debbie only gave us a lot of water, and and we really didn't have any wind from it. But it's like, you can see behind me all the debris, and this is when people are cleaning up. Like, this is not like, hey, like, this is not like day one. This is multiple days of people working and working and working. Like, there's a new construction house right here, and there's stuff in the, like, and these aren't like small limbs. These are like 4-inch diameter limbs. Like, there's branches that came down. So I was cleaning up part of my yard this morning, and I have a huge pine tree in my yard, which actually we got lucky. There is a branch or a limb that's about 4 inches in diameter, I would say, that is hanging by. It has to be hanging by a piece of bark, and a piece of bark only, because the next storm. I talked to my landlord, and she might send somebody out when, this is all cleaned up, or mostly cleaned up, to cut that limb down, because that limb's coming down in the next storm, like next thunderstorm, tropical storm, any big gust of wind, and that branch is flying. But getting back to my original point, Uh, I was cleaning up my stuff this morning, and Mr. Squid's at work, so he's doing his thing at work, making money because it's been an expensive week. Because we already had that vacation planned and paid for this upcoming weekend, and if we cancel it, we're still having to pay about 3/4 of what we would have or what we paid anyway. So it's like we might as well just go. So we have the vacation, his car because he hit a deer. He hit a deer the Thursday morning. Friday morning we get a hurricane. Thursday morning he hits a deer. Like we just can't win. We had to stay in a hotel for 2 days. The cost of the generator, the cost of the air conditioning unit, and everybody knows when it's supply and demand. When there's a low supply, they crank up the price. And it's not that they price gouged, but it had to be at least $100 to $150 more expensive than it would have been if they had everybody there. And like you can see on the road behind me, like just the amount of pine straw and leaves and stuff that are in the road, it's just, yeah, I did. I had to put it on half choke to do it. It's new, so it's hard to pull. And then being the fact that, like, you know, I haven't started up a generator in years, you know. Yeah, it's not, I can't say it's price gouging, but it's like any sale that they might have had before, like the storm. You know how they always have a sale on most everything? Well, those sales go away. So it's like regular MSRP. There's no discounts, no nothing. Like, just, and it looks better than it did yesterday. Like, this circle is the worst. Because behind us, it's really bad down there. And this is all within walking distance of my house. So any of these trees that are down could easily have been my house. And if that tree would have fell on my house, it's not the size of a tree that like just hits the house and, you know, sits on the roof. It's a house that yeah, it's technically not gouging, but it's like anything that they can do legally. Plus, it's been he had to drive to South Carolina to get it because nobody else had any. So he drove 40 miles, 30 miles to get it. So putting gas in the truck, and all they had was premium at the time. So it's like everything is just like super freaking expensive right now. And it's just like you can see like all this debris. Like there's a kid's swimming pool. Who knows where that's from? That could be from anywhere. I had my neighbor's shingles in my yard. We had to do an inspection on our house to make sure they weren't our shingles, because I was kind of worried. Because our house probably does need a new roof. Oh, I did not see that yesterday. Oh, I got to show you guys this. There was when we've been touring our neighborhood, driving through with the golf cart. Because honestly, literally walking through the neighborhood is pretty much all we have to do. Because there's no thank God for YouTube Premium. Baby Squid has an iPad. I only let her use it a little bit, but she figured out how to get on YouTube. So if you ever see me have weird texts in other people's chats, she got into Vice's chat one day and started talking. Started hitting the keyboard and like, you know, it was random gibberish. They have a tarp on their house because that tree, you can see a stump. That tree fell down. These power lines behind me are low. Like, so, whoop, there is, I don't know how well you can see it, but there is a car behind me that is smashed to bits. I don't know if any of you guys can see that. And no, Yoda, we are not expected to get power back until Friday. So there's a Honda CRV that is completely crushed. Can you guys see that? I feel so bad. Like, I feel so blessed that our house is intact. Like, we have trees down and branches, and we have a big pine tree in our front yard, and I found branches in our other tree that weren't from a pine tree, or pine tree branches in a non-pine tree. So, like, it's crazy. Hey, like, it's nuts. Yeah, it's just like, what if all these expenses were like put over the, like, you know, like a month or two, and then it's the first of the month, so we have rent too. So, like, rent and the insurance payments come out on the beginning of the month. It's like, it was just a really bad time, and we won't turn around because we are at the busy street, which in a small town ain't that busy, but the speed limit is more than I'm comfortable with walking. Like, none of these roads have sidewalks. I live in a tiny ass town, but like, my mom just texted me saying she was at Walmart, seeing if they have bottles of water. I guess they're actually letting people in. Yesterday they were open, but they were only letting like a few people in at a time, and there was like a 20-minute wait. So, hey, Flash Fan, how are you? We are just taking a tour of my neighborhood. So, and it is hot. I'm sweating, but I needed to get out and walk a little bit because, yeah. So we actually didn't have cell service for the first day. The only time I got cell service is when we were on our way to the hotel, and all of a sudden I got cell service back, and then like my phone was going off for like 20 minutes because I couldn't get a hold of, like, my mom had to text my dad. So both cars are, you can see the log over the I'm 90%. Mr. Squid never filed, but if he did file, he could be at easily 70-80%, but he never filed. At least he was able to get out. I mean, I've heard Asheville is awful, and I got a little annoyed yesterday, and this is just me, like, being protective of my state. I'm originally from Wisconsin, so you always hear about Chicago and Minneapolis, and they like forget that there's a state in between them. So they're doing the same thing now. They're like Florida and the Carolinas. You'll realize there's a state in between there, right? And like, there's Savannah, Brunswick, like, those are all Tybee. Like, there's a bunch of islands on on coastal Georgia. Like, this is not so I moved from a state that gets no attention to another state that gets no attention. Yeah, they have a couple. I don't know about in this county, but where my mom lives, she drove back to her house because she has no power either. So she's staying with us because at least we have a window AC. So it was 4 people shoved in a tiny family room yesterday. Baby Squid has a floor bed, so we were able to bring her mattress out into the family room. And our family room has a door on it, so it isolates. And then there's a sort of a swinging door between our kitchen and dining room. So we were able to shut those off, or shut those doors, and kind of isolate the kitchen and the family room. But like,